Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. That is so weird still. Today I am talking about beauty college and everything that you need to know, whether you're interested in going or you're just curious about the process to getting licensed. For those of you who are just finding my channel, my name is Hannah. I am a professional hairstylist. So I graduated from beauty college about 2 years ago now. Just to kind of give you a little bit of a backstory, I actually went to beauty college 2017 into 2018. For those of you who know, there are different requirements for each state. The beauty college that I went to is located in West Virginia. The required hours to graduate from beauty college is 1,800 hours. It is about a year. The schedule with beauty college, I was going full-time. There was an option to go part-time, but not very many people did that. So full-time was a regular school hours, so 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. I was going to school full-time. I was also working 2 other jobs on the side, so that whole year was just probably the craziest time of my life. It was the most challenging, but also the most rewarding to be able to go into something that I love to do. And I am so glad that I did it, and I couldn't imagine doing anything else other than hair. All right, so you're probably asking, like, how do I know that that's what I want to do? So I was not a traditional story where you get out of high school and you go straight into beauty college. I actually graduated from high school and went to West Virginia University. I went for a year for criminology. I took quite the 360, so I was actually going to school full-time. I wanted to be an FBI agent, behavior analysis to be specific. And then I think once I got to school, it was just like, I knew that that wasn't really my passion. I've always been a creative person. Whether it's been with art or really anything creative, artistic wise. I have been doing hair for as long as I can remember. I would do my sister's hair, I would do my mom's hair in the kitchen, I was doing makeup, I was always the braider for all the sports teams that I was on. I would do hair and makeup for prom, hair and makeup for homecoming. It was a hobby then, but I don't think that I realized that that was something I wanted to pursue as a career. There is a lot of misconceptions about going to cosmetology school and being a hairstylist, makeup artist, anything like that. When I kind of first brought it up to like family and friends, and like if people would ask me, what do you want to do? And if I said, you know, I want to be a hairstylist or I want to go to cosmetology school, like I would kind of get mixed like opinions, I guess. And I think a lot of people thought, oh, like, you know, that's what people do whenever they have failed at college or they weren't smart enough, or it's an average job, you make average amount of money. A lot of people just put a lot of things into my head, I think. So eventually, that's whenever I had changed into criminology, because I was like, okay, like that's a 4-year college plan, like I'll graduate and go to the FEI, this and that. But I think I just had a moment where I just finished my first year, and I knew at that point that that was not something I wanted to do. And I was looking into other majors, and it just wasn't clicking for any of them really. So I actually didn't sign up for college classes the next year, and instead signed up for a local private beauty college. I'm not gonna say names because I don't exactly have the nicest things to say for that school, but I'm gonna make this as pro and as con as I can for anybody looking into going to beauty college. Although my experience wasn't as great as it could be, I don't want to scare anybody from trying out beauty college. I didn't really do any research on any other schools just because it was kind of a spur of the moment. I just kind of did it without thinking. I just knew if I really thought about it, I was going to procrastinate, and then I would end up going back to WVU and adding up more student loans that I didn't really need. So I ended up going to beauty college, and there are different kind of routes that you can take with it. So there are different programs. There is cosmetology, which is the full 1-year program. Cosmetology is hair, makeup, skin, nails. It's basically the whole thing. There's the hairstylist program, which I believe was just 6 months and you just do hair. And then I believe there was nail tech, obviously you're just doing nails. There was massage therapy, obviously you're doing massage. And then there was an aesthetics program, so a lot of like MUAs, anybody that wanted to do facials or anything along those lines as far as skin. I'm not sure how long that program was. I want to say 9 months. But cosmetology was the longest because you have so many things to learn, and you do have to hit 800 hours of school in order to graduate and be eligible to take your license. So the first couple of months of beauty college, I went in with expectations of it. I knew that I was going to meet some interesting people, and I wasn't too sure about what I wanted to go into. I was interested in makeup and hair. That's why I went the cosmetology route. Obviously, very soon into the cosmetology program, I definitely realized I did not want to do nails, and I did not want to do skin. It was still kind of makeup and hair. So the first couple of months, you're basically just in class or regular classes. And this is whenever things kind of get misconstrued, I guess. A lot of people think that like cosmetology school is easy, and I'm here to tell you that it is absolutely not easy.
You have chemistry, anatomy, electric classes, you have history.
I mean, it was so in-depth. You really have to learn about the history of cosmetology. You have to learn about the chemicals that you're dealing with. You have to learn about different illnesses, different infections that you have to prevent. It was so, like, it really caught me off guard how in-depth it really was. The first couple of months, they were, you know, you're excited to go to school or whatever, but it was, I think, the further I got into, the more it was just, like, emotionally exhausting, because I was so used to going to a big university where I could pick my classes, I could go home in between, like I was used to kind of choosing my schedule, and then I had kind of taken a step back with this, and I was like basically back in a full-time schedule, like a high school schedule, but I was also with like, I don't even know how many girls were in that building, but way too many females. Like, there were so many different types of people. And obviously, if you're a female, you know that if you put so many females in one room, obviously there's going to be drama, there's going to be hormones bouncing off of each other. I mean, it was probably the most chaotic time
ever.
Like, I think everybody there was still kind of realizing like who they are. Of course, there were older girls, there were girls with babies, girls getting married. I mean, you had girls straight out of high school, so it was just literally a cluster of just so many different types of people, and it was just so chaotic, but also kind of eye-opening. Because it really forced you to know like who you are, what your boundaries are. Okay, so like I was saying, the first couple of months, you're just in classes. Obviously, you do get clinic floor experience. With this beauty college, you were given a kit. So they basically had a company that would give them kits for each student to do your clients on the clinic floor once you got to that point that you were able to work on clients. So our two companies, our color line was Scruples, and Chi was the company that basically gave us like the kit. The kit was absolutely huge, so you got like so many like brushes and clips, literally everything that you need. I didn't have to buy anything to go to school, which was nice. This school that I went to also provided an iPad because it was a paper-free school, which was also really awesome. So with the iPad situation, basically while you're going to school, you basically leave the iPad there because it still is the college's. It's paid for in your tuition. So by the time you graduate, you are able to take that iPad home with you and it's now yours because you did pay for it. But while you're in school, you do keep it there, and they do have like locks on it so you can't search everything. But it was just nice to use because they really wanted to expose you to social media. Social media is a huge part of our career. To be able to get your name out there, post your work, that's really how you're going to get clients. So that was really nice. The color line, on the other hand, was not the best. But I mean, it's beauty college. It's not like you're going to be doing professional work. You're still there to learn. So I guess as a learning line, it was fine. The only thing, when I graduated, I actually went and got my salon job, and that's whenever I realized, I was like, okay, the toners that they had us using were not actually toners. We were using color to tone. And if you know anything about hair, using color to tone really dries out the hair. It's just not the best option because you have to break back through that color once they come back in to get touched up. And it was just, at the time I had no idea, and I was like, you know, we were putting out like the best work ever, obviously, to us. Yeah, the color line was not great, but the kit and the iPad, that was awesome. I can't really give you advice on looking for a college because, like I said, I never really looked at different colleges. I just kind of picked the closest one. Looking back, if I knew to kind of look at different schools, I think I would have looked into it a little better, maybe read some reviews on the school. I probably would have looked into their line a little bit better and kind of studied, you know, what line I wanted to go into. To fast forward you, I'm now working at a Paul Mitchell Focus Salon, which I kind of touched up on my last video, which I will link down here. I kind of wish that I would have went to a Paul Mitchell salon because I had to relearn a whole different color line in order to work at my salon, which wasn't a huge ordeal because it was pretty similar as far as measurements go and formulations. So once you move on from regular classes, you go into like labs and different things like that along with your regular classes. So then it turns into classes and then you have labs some days, and the schedule kind of mixes up a little bit halfway because they're kind of moving you on to the next phase of your education. So the labs are a little more hands-on. As far as mannequins go, they do provide you with mannequins, which is also fantastic. They are very expensive. So with the mannequins, you start to learn cuts, you start to learn perms, color, styles, blowouts, different things like that. So labs are really fun. Occasionally they would let us kind of work on each other. Once you move on from like your classes and labs, then you move on to on the clinic floor. So once you get to the clinic floor, that's when you can start to kind of take clients. Okay, so once you're working on clients, you occasionally still have your labs. So basically working on clients. Let me kind of explain this one for you. Obviously you have people that want to come in to get their hair done. Obviously they realize that you're still learning, but there are still people that kind of expect the best out of you, which I never really understood because I was like, you're coming to a school and you're paying basically half price that you would for a professional to do it. So it's kind of like you pay for what you get, but there's those people. So you're basically getting graded as you do their hair. So basically the grades are like sanitation wise, are you doing everything that you need to do? Are you doing a consultation? Are you doing the steps right? And the final result basically. The thing with clients though, at my school particularly, I didn't feel that the instructors really walked you through what to do, rather than they kind of waited for you to be like, I don't know what I'm doing, for them to like step in to help. Obviously we were still learning, so it wasn't like our work wasn't anything fantastic, and looking back now, what we thought was fantastic at the time, now looking at my work now, I'm like, ooh, like I'm so sorry to those people. But Some of them were actually really surprising given the products that we were given and the products we were using. The techniques that we were taught were modern, but it was also kind of like half-ass modern. Like as far as like balayage, they were kind of up to date. It was definitely, obviously there were girls there that probably shouldn't have been doing clients or even made it to the point where they could get their hands on clients, not to be rude, but obviously in a place like that, there are those people that are just there to kind of get a license to make money. They weren't exactly there to be creative, or this wasn't their passion. So obviously it's going to show in your work if this isn't something that you love to do. Yeah, there were obviously people that needed more help than others that didn't really get that help. I mean, there was obviously a lot of clients leaving that college that probably should have never been leaving with hair like that. But, I mean, it's beauty college. They sign a waiver saying they know that this is a student. So, in order to graduate beauty college, obviously you have to have your set amount of hours. You have to reach a certain GPA, I believe. You have to pass certain classes. And obviously, at the end, there's like a big final. You have to pass that as well. If I could describe what beauty college is for, it's really just to teach you how to pass the board test. The board test is basically how you get your license. A lot of people think that once you just graduate beauty college that you're licensed, you're ready to go. No. Obviously, in different states, it's different. So in West Virginia, once you graduate, you get your transcripts, and then you have to apply to take the test. The test is basically two parts. There is the written, and then there is the practical. So the practical is your hands-on. You're doing it in front of like the testers or whatever. Basically, they're testing you for sanitation, they're testing you for technique. They're not really gonna fail you because it was a bad haircut or you painted the nail wrong, really. Basically, they don't fail you because you're bad at it. More so, they would fail you if you're not taking the steps you need in order to keep your clients healthy. So basically during the test, I'll be honest with you, on my practical, jack the haircut, probably the most uneven haircut in the world. The nail part, I am awful at doing nails. So really there were a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have passed myself on, but just because I was taking the precautions to make sure that it was sanitary, make sure that I was sanitary, you know, if I cut myself, I was doing the steps that I needed to do. So really, the practical is more for public safety. So the written part is more of like your state law. Cosmetology has a board, and on the board, there are different rules, different regulations that we have to follow as hairstylists. So that's basically what like the written part of it is. It's basically testing you that you know what you need to do as a professional, as far as regulations, different laws, different fees that you have to pay. It also tests you, just like the practical tests you on like sanitation practices and different things like that. On the written, there is like different diseases that you have to know, different infections that you have to identify. It basically is just a written form of the practical, if that makes sense. But once you pass those two, you are basically licensed. You have to pay a couple fees. You have to fill out different applications, stuff like that. But after that, it's really, you have your license. Looking back to beauty college, I don't regret going to beauty college. I wish I would have looked into beauty college a little bit more as far as which one I was going to. I don't think that I made the best choice on the beauty college that I went to, but I mean, there's nothing I can do about it now. Fortunately, I am graduated and I don't have to deal with that school anymore. The people that I met in beauty college, they really honestly helped me get through it, and I made some really good friends through beauty college. And it's so cool to see the different people that you went to beauty college with grow into their profession. Obviously, there's people that you went to school with that are doing something completely opposite, and it's just kind of funny to like see how really confused we were to be in beauty college and kind of testing the waters to see if this is for us. Obviously for me, this was the best decision for me because I can't imagine doing anything else. And I encourage anybody that thinks that, you know, maybe this is for them, I think why not go for it? Definitely look at the school that you're going into, really like read reviews, different things like that. Obviously with any beauty college there's going to be drama because you're cramming so many females into one room, so just be prepared for that part of beauty college. It's just a really challenging time, but yeah, I am glad that I made it through that time. I'm glad that I met the people that I did, and I am licensed and I'm able to do what I love. So I hope that this encourages some of you to really look into it if you're thinking about it. So yeah, that is the video for today. It would be really, really awesome of you to like and subscribe. If you guys have any feedback for me, please feel free to comment below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.